Sputnik, take one.
On Bug News today, Sputnik seen around the world.
Oh my god!
Sputnik was the first to launch on October 4th, 1957. It was the first satellite orbit. Its origin is from Russia. Sputnik's definition means fellow traveler. It can be seen around the world. Americans got a little scared, but America don't get scared. Americans, they did think that if they could send a satellite in orbit, they could send missiles to the U.S. And a fun fact, as in space, it comes by the U.S. about 2 times a day.
Open letter!
Oh, America. Oh, the American flag. How much you've brought us. Duct tape, pizza, Chinese food. Oh my gosh. Sincerely, C.D. Jones. Sputnik is a sphere like shuttle, circular, got like 4 main parts coming out of it. When it was launched, it had 3 components. The rocket that used to guide the missile. Then the second part was what the rockets detached and it kept on going. And then the tip is what Sputnik shot out of. And as it needed to be, Sputnik launched out the orbiting Earth. Sputnik was the size of a beach ball, about the size of this. Then on November 3rd, Sputnik 2 launched, which had a dog named Lakio, a dog. They couldn't have sent a monkey. Then the tables turned when America launched the Explorer 1. The Explorer 1 found about the mechanic radiation belt around the Earth.
The Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs invasion began when a group of CIA finance and trained group of Cuban refugees landed in Cuba and attempted to topple the communist government of Fidel Castro. It failed epically. Fidel caused trouble ever since he came to power in January 1959. He wanted a closer relationship with the Soviet Union. President Eisenhower ordered the operation, but Kennedy inherited it in 1961 when he came to president. Many military leaders said it would fail, but Kennedy thought otherwise. April 17, 1961, about 1,500 Cuban exiles waited upon Cuban shores with American guns and using an American landing craft. Many historians, the CIA Cuban Exile Brigade believed that President Kennedy would eventually involve the U.S. in the Cuban conflict, but he was scared to because he's afraid it would end up as World War III. And our special guest here on the newscast is Jody. What are your thoughts on the Bay of Pigs?
Well, other than it failing miserably, I thought that it was a good idea, to be honest. Kennedy's had hopes in it, so did Dwight D. Eisenhower. It was pretty interesting stuff, but to be honest, they should have put more funding in it and not be complete imbeciles.
Well, let's make this newscast worthwhile.
International diplomatic crisis erupted in May 1960 when the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics shot down an American U-2 spy plane in the Soviet airspace and captured the pilot, Francis Gary Powers. Confronted with the evidence of his national espionage, President D. Eisenhower was forced to admit to the Soviets that the U.S. CIA had been flying spy planes over the USSR for several years. The Soviets convicted him 10 years in prison on espionage. However, he only served less than 2. He was released for a trade for a captured Soviet agent. In the first ever USSR spy plane swap, the U-2 spy plane raised tensions between the U.S. and the Soviets during the Cold War. The large political clash between the two superpowers and their allies emerged following World War II. Diplomatic crisis erupted on May 1960 when the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics shot down. Okay, restart.
It can be seen around the world.
That's Caleb's cue.